With the hope that you will all be well, let's start today's lecture. In previous lectures, we studied the various types of beams, loadings, and reactions. We also see the brief introduction of shear forces and bending moments while discussing the sign conventions. We will now obtain some important relationships between loads, shear forces, and bending moments in beams. These relationships are quite useful when investigating the shear forces and bending moments throughout the entire length of a beam, and they are especially helpful when constructing shear forces and bending moment diagrams. So let's start. Relationships between loads, shear forces, and bending moments. As a means of obtaining the relationships, let us consider an element of a beam cut out between two cross sections that are distance dx apart. The load acting on the top surface of the element may be a distributed load, a concentrated load, or a couple as shown in figures respectively. The sign conventions for these loads are as follows. Distributed loads and concentrated loads are positive when they act downward on the beam and negative when they act upward. A couple acting as a load on a beam is positive when it is counterclockwise and negative when it is clockwise. If other sign conventions are used, changes may occur in the signs of the terms appearing in the equations derived in this section. The shear forces and bending moments acting on the sides of the element are shown in their positive directions here in figure. In general, the shear forces and bending moments vary along the axis of the beam. Therefore, their values on the right-hand face of the element may be different from their values on the left-hand face. However, in the case of a distributed load as shown in figure here, the increments in shear forces and bending moments are very small. And now we can symbolize it by dV and dm respectively. The corresponding stress resultants on the right hand face are now V plus dV and the bending moment is m plus dm. In the case of a concentrated load or a couple, the increments may be finite and so they are symbolized with V1 and M1. The corresponding stress resultants on the right hand face are V plus V1 and M plus M1. Here V1 and M1 actually represents the increment in shear forces and bending moments. For each type of loading, we can write two equations of equilibrium for the element. One equation for equilibrium of forces in the vertical direction and one for equilibrium of moments. However, the first of these equations gives the relationship between the load and the shear force, and the second gives the relationship between the shear force and the bending moment. Distributed loads. The first type of loading is the distributed load of intensity Q as shown in figure here. We will consider first its relationship to the shear force and second its relationship to the bending moment as discussed in previous slides. From the equilibrium of forces in the vertical direction and considering upward forces are positive gives the following expression: V minus Q dx minus V plus dV is equal to 0. Here in this expression, V is the shear force on left face of the element and V plus dV is the shear force on right face of the element, and Q is actually the intensity of the distributed load. So after some simplification, the expression can be reduced to dV over dx is equal to minus Q. From this equation, we see that the rate of the change of the shear force at any point on the axis of the beam is equal to the negative of the intensity of the distributed load at that point. Here it is important to note that if the sign convention for the distributed load is reversed so that Q is positive upward instead of downward, then the minus sign is omitted in the preceding equation. Some useful relations are immediately obvious from this expression. For instance, if there is no distributed load on the segment of the beam, that is if Q is equal to 0, then from this expression dV over dx is equal to 0. and the shear force is constant in the part of the beam. Also, if the distributed load is uniform along the part of the beam, it means Q is constant, then we can express it as dV over dx is also constant and shear force varies linearly in that part of the beam. So as a demonstration of this equation, consider a cantilever beam with a linearly varying load as shown in figure here. The load on the beam can be expressed as Q is equal to Q naught x over L, which is positive because it acts downward. Also, the shear force expression can be written as minus Q naught x square over 2L. We studied in previous lectures about these expressions in detail, and anyone who knows the basic knowledge of beams can derive these expressions easily. Now taking the derivative, dV over dx gives minus Q naught x over L. If we consider the entire bar or beam rather than a cut section, then x will be equal to L and cancel out here in this expression. So finally dV over dx will be equal to minus Q, which agrees with our previous expression. A useful relationship pertaining to the shear force at two different cross sections of a beam can be obtained by integrating this expression along the axis of the beam. To obtain this relationship, we multiply both sides of this expression by dx and then integrate between 2 points A and B on the axis of the beam. Thus the expression looks like this: integral A to B dV is equal to minus integral A to B Q dx, where we are assuming that x increases as we move from point A to point B. The left hand side of this expression or equation equals the difference VB minus VA of the shear force at point B and point A. The integral on the right hand side represents the area of the loading diagram between A and B, which in turn is equal to the magnitude of the resultant of the distributed load acting between these points. Thus the final expression will be looks like this: VB minus VA is equal to minus A to B integral Q dx. In other words, the change in shear force between 2 points along the axis of the beam is equal to the negative of the total downward load between these points. The area of the loading diagram may be positive if Q acts downward or negative if Q acts upward. Because this expression was derived for an element of the beam subjected only to a distributed load or to no load, we cannot use these expressions where a concentrated load is applied because the intensity of the load is not defined for a concentrated load. Now we will see the expression for bending moment. For this, let us now consider the moment equilibrium of the beam element as shown in figure here. Summing moments about an axis at the left hand side of the element, the axis that is perpendicular to the plane of the figure, and taking counterclockwise moments as positive, we obtain the expression as minus m minus q dx over 2 minus v plus dv dx plus m plus dm is equal to 0. As we already discussed that here in this expression, V and M is the shear force and bending moment respectively. In the same way, dx is the distance between the 2 points of the beam or bar, and dm and dv is actually the increment in bending moment and shear force respectively. So disregarding products of differentials in this equation because they are negligible compared to the other terms, we obtain the following relationship: dm over dx is equal to v. So this equation shows that the rate of change of the bending moment at any point on the axis of a beam is equal to the shear force at that same point. For instance, if the shear force is 0 in a region of the beam, then the bending moment is constant in that same region. However, this equation applies only in regions where distributed load or no loads act on the beam. At a point where a concentrated load acts, a sudden change or discontinuity in the shear force occurs and derivative dm over dx is undefined at that point. Now let us consider a concentrated load P acting on a beam element as shown here in figure. From equilibrium of forces in the vertical direction, we get the expression as V minus P minus V plus V1 is equal to 0. And we can also express this equation as V1 is equal to minus P. So this results means that an abrupt change in the shear force occurs at any point where a concentrated load acts. As we pass from left to right through the point of load application, the shear force decreases by an amount equal to the magnitude of the downward load P. So from the equilibrium of moments about the left hand face of the element and considering the counterclockwise moment as positive, we get the expression as minus m minus p dx over 2 minus v plus v1 dx plus m plus m1 is equal to 0. Here in this expression, v1 and m1 are the increment in shear force and bending moments respectively from left to right side of the element. So after some simplification, the above expression can be expressed as m1 is equal to p dx over 2 plus v dx plus v1 dx. Since the length dx of the element is very small, we see from this equation that the increment m1 in the bending moment is also very small. Thus the bending moment does not change as we pass through the point of application of a concentrated load. Even though the bending moment m does not change as a concentrated load, its rate of change, that is its rate of change dm over dx, undergoes an abrupt change. At the left side of the element, the rate of change of the bending moment is dm over dx is equal to shear force V. However, at the right side, the change is V minus P. P, as we already discussed and see in the figure here, the P is the load that acts on this element. Therefore, at the point of application of a concentrated load P, the rate of change dm over dx of the bending moment decreases abruptly by an amount equal to P. However, the last case to be considered is a load in the form of a couple m0 as shown in figure. From equilibrium of the element in the vertical direction, we obtain V1 is equal to 0, which shows that the shear force does not change at the point of application of a couple. However, from equilibrium of moments about the left hand side of the element gives the expression minus m plus m0 minus v plus v1 dx plus m1 plus m is equal to 0. Disregarding the terms that contains differentials because they are negligible compared to the finite terms, we obtain the expression m1 is equal to minus m0. This equation shows that the bending moment decreases by an amount m0 as we move from left to right through the point of application, load application. Thus the bending moment changes abruptly at the point of application of a couple. So here I am giving a problem for practice. Students should have to solve this problem by yourself, applying the knowledge learned in this lecture. Thank you for your attention.